Shalom unto the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone that teach in their Ruel today. And salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar, coming at you with another video or lesson. And right before I get into this lesson, this message, all these videos goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. And also to the Israelite foreigners that are scattered amongst the heathen nations that may take on the physical appearance or look of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. Shalom. So basically, this is going to be back to the basic lesson. Okay. As you know, I'm gonna get a couple of scriptures going into when it comes to the prophecies. Okay, because once we find out that we're Israelites, okay, we come to the understanding that we're Israel. Okay, us that's had come across the men of great millstone teaching. Okay, when it comes to the doctrine of the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, when it comes to this word, okay, we come to the understanding that we Israelites. Okay, and we also come to the understanding, okay, when you first wake up in this truth, okay, and you find out that this place America, okay, is our captivity, okay, and eventually who the world called Christ, Yahweh Shai, okay, is going to return to deliver us, okay, when it comes to the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, which we're considered the 144,000 and the 1/3, okay, and the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is going to return by the way of the chariots, what the world call UFOs, okay, which are the vehicles of the angels, okay, and how Yahweh Shai is going to make his second appearance, okay, at the peak of the Third World War, okay, and during the time of the peak of the Third World War, okay, it's going to be a nuclear war, and when it comes to this place America, okay, this place is going to be totally destroyed by the way of thermonuclear fire, okay, and also Yahweh Shai bringing fire by the way of the chariots, okay, as Yahweh Shai is going to intervene in the Third World War, okay, these nations are going to be gathering together over there in the Middle East, okay, as you're seeing now, okay, when it comes to at that critical point, America having its troops over there, okay, Israel, okay, having their troops over there, okay, the EU, NATO, okay, fighting against Russia, China, Iran, okay, North Korea, okay, those Middle Eastern countries that have military, okay, eventually it's going to be a Third World War, okay, but it's going to lead to a nuclear war that's going to destroy this place, America, okay, but prior to this place being totally destroyed, we about to enter into the time now, okay, approaching the downfall of this place when it comes to a total society collapse, okay, as we about to be on the verge of a financial crash, the economy crashing, okay, that's going to lead to civil war, civil unrest, okay, race wars, okay, leading to martial law, detention centers, okay, leading to also as well famine, pestilence, okay, at the state of anarchy and all hell breaking loose, okay, in particular here in America, okay, and all that's going to lead to eventually at the peak of the Third World War, okay, this place being destroyed, man, okay, by the way of thermonuclear fire, okay, and this place ain't going to be destroyed for no reason, okay, the reason why this place is going to be destroyed due to all the wickedness that this place America uphold, man, okay, start with the false religions, okay, which the word religion means to worship, okay, but when it comes to these false religions, false doctrines, okay, that's being pushed here in America, okay, when it comes to these false gods that's being upheld, okay, idol worship, okay, when it comes to as well, lawlessness, okay, when it comes to this country, okay, as they had to say, a do as thou will, okay, you see, when it comes to this alternative lifestyle that people are in, okay, when it comes to the nasty agenda, okay, this place also is going to be destroyed due to the more and more unrighteous decrees by Esau, Edom, okay, the so-called white race, okay, that's ruling today, okay, and these heathens that's over here that's have us in subject here in America, okay, and you see the state of our people, okay, all the wickedness that our people are in too, okay, and we're at the point in time the Lord about to have that time of this place destruction, man. Okay, we're coming into the time of the RFID microchip, the MOTB or the mark of the beast about to be implemented. That's going to replace the physical dollar, and these elites ready to move forward with an NWO and coming with a cashless society, okay, a digital currency, okay, and right before those missiles launch off, okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, okay, that MOTB had to be implemented first, okay, because according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, those of our people, or you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native American descent that take it, going to be destroyed, okay, by the way of the missiles and the chariots bringing fire, okay, and in the midst of that, the Lord is only going to deliver the elect, okay, because 2/3 of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans going to be judged, okay, here in America alone, okay, when it comes to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, okay, but the 1/3 is going to be delivered from out of that destruction, okay, when the Lord returned with the hosts of angels, the chariots, to beam the elect up, okay, from out of that fire, okay, or from that destruction of the fire from the missiles and the chariots, okay, so I'm just going to get a couple of scriptures, okay, going into the destruction of this place, man, okay, because America is found in the Bible, okay, all prophesied in the Bible, okay, but the spirituality, okay, of it, that you're not going to actually see the physical word America, okay, in the scriptures, okay, America is symbolic under different ancient empires, okay, such as Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon, okay, which the word Babylon, okay, in the Hebrew, Baal, means confusion, and that's what you have here in America, a bunch of confusion, okay, a bunch of wickedness, okay, and look how this place was built off the bloodshed of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay, and still to this day, okay, this land is full with blood, okay, look all the murder rates, okay, another reason why this place is going to be destroyed, man, okay, this place known for, when it comes to drugs affected, okay, witchcraft, okay, this place is known for, America known for going to war with other countries, okay, invading other countries, okay, but now we come to the time of their downfall, okay, the downfall of America and the destruction of America and the downfall of Esau, Edom, they're chiefly ruling, okay, over America, okay, and over the nations through America, okay. And so, like I said, I'm gonna get a couple of scriptures, okay. Yeah, America also known as Egypt, okay, which the word Egypt is a Greek word meaning bondage, and this is the modern day bondage, okay, for the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay, the Israelites, man, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, okay, because like I say as well, this place, America, is built upon lies, man, okay. Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, this place is spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, due to, we know what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah, due to their foul acts, and the Lord destroyed that place by the way of fire and brimstone, okay. So in this time, America gonna be destroyed, okay, by the way of missiles, okay, as they, in the form of, on the Lord power, man, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the scriptures, and this is Luke chapter 12, verse 49, okay, and this is red letter, meaning that Yahweh Shai spoke these words, okay, and still speaking this word through the Spirit by the way of the prophets that's out there on the highways and byways, okay, and videos being uploaded daily, okay, and mainly the men of Great Millstone and the brethren on down, man, that truly teaching, okay, because you got a lot of Israelite camps out there, okay, that's not prophesying the downfall of this place, man, okay, they barely or rarely go into the destruction of this place by thermonuclear fire, because a lot of these Israelite camps, such as IUIC, ISUPK, okay, GOCC, okay, Sakari, okay, they really, Israelite organizations that trying to profit, okay, and they can't go into the destruction of this place, man, okay, that's why they all about pushing Israel and pushing the law, statute, commandments, okay, which that's good, okay, that's part of the ministry, okay, hey, but you got camps out there now prophesying the downfall of this place, man, okay, camps not going into the RFID microchip being the mark of the beast, okay, as they say, it's sin itself. It's not going to be a physical device, okay. You got camps out there saying all Israel can be saved, heathens can be saved, okay. Now salvation is only for the elect, okay. Like I said, a lot of these camps, they all about prosperity, okay, to the point that they don't talk about the destruction of this place, America, okay. So let's get Luke chapter 12, verse 49. It says, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? So Yahweh Shai has come back to send fire. Okay, he's not come back to bring peace. Okay, majority of the world think, okay, to contrary to popular belief. Okay, when it comes to mainly the Christians, okay, which that's a false doctrine, okay, because, through Christianity, they'll teach you that God is all love, okay, he doesn't do evil, he doesn't do any evil, okay, he's come back to save all nations, okay, they still pushing that who the world called Christ is a so-called white man, God is the so-called white man, okay, and they like I said, they push peace, okay, but according to the true doctrine or the word of Yahweh Shema Shai, the times that we're coming into, the Lord about to bring great destruction, okay, and it says, I am come to send fire on the earth. What will I be? What will I if it be already kindled? Yeah, because like I say, ultimately this place is going to be destroyed by the way of fire at the peak of the Third World War, when Yahweh shall return with the hosts of angels, okay, the chariots to bring fire, right along with those nuclear missiles, okay, but prior to that, as I mentioned earlier, before this place be totally destroyed, okay, we about to enter the time of civil unrest, okay, a Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, okay, for you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, okay, when it comes to the 2/3, because the Lord said that he shall be delivered out of it, okay, when it comes to Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, okay, and that he going into the elect, okay, the hopeful elect that we striving to be part of, okay, the 144,000, and the 1/3 they're going to be delivered in those times, man, okay, out of the time of Jacob trouble, when all hell break loose, and society totally collapsed, okay, so right before the Lord bring the ultimate fire, okay, by the way of the missiles and the chariots, it's already going to be riots, okay, it's already, you seeing fire now, these wildfires, okay, which we know a lot of is orchestrated, staged by Esau Edom, the so-called, white race, okay, these elites mainly, okay, they have the blessing of the sword, okay, through their military or their advanced weapons to, cause these wildfires, okay, the dual weapon, okay, but that's the left-hand side of Yahweh Shema Shai, okay, giving the blessing of the sword to Esau Edom, okay, but you're going to have fires from, like I said, wildfires, on riots, okay, wars, okay, and it says, I am come to send fire on the earth. What will I if it be already kindled? So the point is, Yahweh Shema Shai is bringing fire, man. Okay, let's get this. and mainly by the way of those missiles and the chariots. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebukes with flames of fire. So once again, the Lord come with fire, okay, by the way of the chariots, okay, and to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword, and that sword, once again, okay, in this case going into those thermonuclear missiles, okay, because the sword is a war instrument, okay, because just as I say, you ain't gonna see the modern day terminology America, okay, in the Bible, okay, although it prophesied about the great destruction of this place, America, okay, but just as also the sword, okay, because so most of the time when you see the sword, okay, is representing the nuclear destruction or those missiles, okay. In this case, on verse 16, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. Okay, show you that it's going into thermonuclear missiles. Okay, because what sword, a regular sword that's on fire. Okay, just saying. So it said, for by fire and by his sword, okay, will the Lord plead with all flesh. And the word plead means to judge. So the Lord going to judge 2/3 of our people here in America, okay, by the way of thermonuclear missiles, and also the heathens, okay, starting with Esau, Edom, and the rest of these nations, because there's no salvation for these heathen nations, man. Okay, the original heathens, okay. Salvation is only for the elect, okay, of the nation of Israel. And it says, and you're always you're going to have Israelites that look like other nations, okay. But the only way, okay, they can be delivered or be saved if their bloodline go back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent. Okay, so you're going to have Israelites looking like so-called whites, okay, Chinese, Japanese, okay, Hamites, okay, which are as they call today, the original, are the Africans, okay, which are, Hamites, okay, which the so-called Negroes here in America are not African, okay, or African American, okay, that's a lie, okay, that's a false identity that our oppressor Esau Edom put upon us, man. Okay, we are two different nations when it comes to the so-called Negroes here in America and the original Africans are the Hamites. Okay, because Africa is Africa was named after an Edomite, a Roman general, Lascupius Africanus. Okay, a so-called white man. Okay, but the original people of the land of Africa are the Hamites. Okay, and the so-called Negroes didn't come, okay, from the seed of Ham, okay. The so-called Negroes come from the seed of Shem, okay, out of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay, one of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, okay, starting with the head tribe, Judah, okay. So the Negroes today are of the tribe of Judah, okay. And it says, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Okay, so like I said, the only ones that's going to be delivered is the elect. Okay, like I said, you got Israelites scattered amongst the heathen nations. Okay, such as the Hamites, the Chinese, the Arabs. Okay, the Japanese, the so-called whites. Okay, the Hawaiians, Samoans. Okay, the East Indians or the Indians. Okay, because we were scattered amongst all nations. Okay, due to our disobedience. Okay, the Lord put us in captivity. It kicked us out of the land. Okay, the land of Israel. Okay, especially during the time of 70 AD. Okay, and since that time we were scattered. Okay, and we went into the west coast or western parts of Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution. And you can read that in the book of From Babylon to Timbuktu. Okay, but due to our disobedience, the Lord pushed us out of the land. okay, and put the curses upon us, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 16 through 68. And one of the curses that the Lord will scatter us amongst these heathen nations, okay, to be in captivity, okay, especially this place, America, okay. And so, like I said, you're going to have Israelites looking like all nations, okay, but only the elect, okay, is going to be delivered. And it says, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slaying of the Lord shall be many. Okay, so the slaying of the Lord going to be many, okay, including 2/3 of our people and the original heathens, okay, or the heathens, okay, starting with Esau, Edom. So this place totally going to be annihilated. Let's get this. Or let's get this right here. Well, that's Amos. This is Amos chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord, power, Yahweh Shemel Shai, are upon the sinful kingdom. Okay, and that's going into eventually the chariots. Okay, he's seeing more and more so-called UFOs, sightings. Okay, but the so-called UFOs, okay, the chariots, okay, is going to wait to the appointed time till Yahweh Shai return. Okay, but those are signs knowing that we that close when it comes to these so-called UFOs and sightings, okay, increasing. Okay, but when Yahweh Shai finally return with the hosts of angels, okay, it's going to lead to this place destruction, okay, and the salvation of the elect. Behold, the eyes of the Lord, power, Yahweh Shemel Shai, are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Okay, in this case, going into this place, America. Okay, because this place going to be totally annihilated, man. Okay, by the way of the missiles. Okay, and once the fire and smoke dies down, this place never going to be inhabited again by nations. Okay, it's going to become a desert and inhabited for desert-like creatures. Okay, it says, I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I would not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. And that word utterly means completely. Okay, so the Lord is not going to completely destroy the house of Jacob, because the Lord going to deliver the elect, that remnant. Okay, that I will not utterly, it says, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, say the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay, yeah, like I said, because this place going to be totally destroyed. And the only thing that's going to inhabit this place is desert-like creatures. Okay? Let's get this. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. Okay, the modern-day Medes are the Russians. Okay? And it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, it shall not delight in it. Okay? So these, now come to the point that the Russians start with Vladimir Putin. Okay, he ain't accepting no bribe, or especially in the time of the Third World War. Okay, as we're about to come into that point. Okay, so they ain't worrying about no American dollar. Okay, America sanctions. Okay, because at this time as well, you got the Russians leading the form of the BRIC nations. Okay, that format. When it comes to BRICS, the acronym. Okay, BRICS. Okay, which represent Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay, they're trying to form their own financial format when it comes to their currency. Okay, which eventually they're going to push the MOTB. Okay, everything going towards cashless society. Okay, yeah, but the point of the BRICS nations is to drop the dollar. Okay, to obsolete the dollar. Okay, and stop dealing with America currency. Okay. And so, if you got those nations alliance each other, okay, financially, okay, so they're going to alliance each other with military, okay, with being allies when it comes to the military. And you got other countries that's starting to join in when it comes to that BRICS format, okay. All that's going to lead to more what? The coming of the Third World War, okay, the time of war. And it says, Verse 18. Their bows also shall dash the young man into pieces, and the bows represent those missiles, man. Okay? They shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes shall not spare children. Yeah, because in that time you're going to have men, women, and children being destroyed here in America. Okay? The only men, women, and children that's going to be delivered is of the elect. Okay? So the Lord going to put the spirit on these nations to shoot these missiles upon this place, man. Okay? They ain't going to do it out of their own self-will. Okay? The Lord going to put the spirit on the Russians to shoot their missiles. Okay? The spirit on China. Okay? Iran. Okay? North Korea. Okay? And even certain members of NATO that's going to turn on this place. Okay? To shoot their missiles upon this place, America. Okay? And totally annihilate this place, man. Okay? And it says, verse 19, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, okay, represent America. Okay? The beauty of the Chaldeans, excellencies, okay, because the Chaldeans, the modern-day Chaldeans are these elites of Esau, Edom, okay? And when it comes to these elites, their stronghold is America, okay? When it comes to the dollar, okay, which the dollar is nothing but debt, okay? And that's why America is so in debt, okay, to these central bankers when it comes to these elites, okay? And also when it comes to their military force, okay, America's mainly their main source, okay, when it comes to the military, when it comes to the blessing of their sword, once again, okay. And over here where they use America to, do all type of wickedness, man. Okay, these elites are in the league, okay, of that, okay. Hey, they the lesser luminary ones, they're doing their bidding when it comes to the government officials, okay. They're pushing forth the NWO, okay. That's going into this place, America, okay, being ruled by these elites of Esau, Edom, okay. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans, excellency, shall be as when Yahweh by Shemel Shai overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, as I made mention. Okay, this place is also known as spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, and we know what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, the wickedness that was going on. Okay, and the Lord destroyed that place by the way of fire, by fire and brimstone. Okay, but this time the fire and brimstone are going to come in the form of the thermonuclear missiles. Okay, and during that time, the Lord, when he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, he only delivered Lot, okay, and his 2 daughters, okay, because due to all the wickedness that Sodom and Gomorrah pushed back then. But America had taken on that same alternative lifestyle and put it in law. Okay, you see all what's going on here in America. Okay, and that's why one of many, okay, reasons why this place gonna be destroyed, man. Okay, off that act alone. Okay, that that type of lifestyle, okay, or alternative lifestyle alone, this place gonna be destroyed. Okay. It says it should never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian tent there. Yeah, meaning there ain't gonna be no nations, okay, inhabiting this place. There ain't gonna be no once this place destroyed, there ain't gonna be no rebuilding America. Hey, let's go back to America and build it up. Okay. Because that fire and those missiles, by the way, the missiles and the chariots bringing fire, okay, ain't gonna leave no foundation, man. Okay, everything's gonna be destroyed, man. Okay, ain't gonna be no trying to rebuild, man. Okay, because they're gonna be so devastated. Okay, matter of fact, let me get this. They said that here we go, Malachi chapter 4 verse 1. For behold, the day come that shall burn as an oven. Okay, that's going into those missiles. Okay, and Yahweh shall return with the fire as well, by the way of the chariots. And all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, they going into this place, America. Okay, shall be stubble, and all that, and the day that comes shall burn them up, say the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So there ain't gonna be no rebuilding of this place, man. Okay, the root represent the foundation and the branch represent prosperity. Okay, so ain't gonna be no more building this place up, man. Okay, once this place America be destroyed, it's gonna become a desert, man. Okay, as I'm gonna get back into Isaiah chapter 13, verse 20. And it says, "It shall never be inhabited, neither it be dwelt from generation to generation." Okay, meaning that once again, no nation's gonna inhabit this place. "Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and styres shall dance there." Okay, going into the desert-like creatures that's going to inhabit this place. Okay, once it destroyed, okay, in the fire and the smoke, clear. Okay, and America will be a monument, okay, of what not to do when it comes to wickedness. Okay, and when it comes to the great salvation of the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. Okay, once the kingdom of Israel is established on the earth, man. Okay, in which, by the way, the land of Israel gonna be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear fire. Okay, when Yahweh shall return, because the people that's over there are not the original inheritors. Okay, they are Edomites. Okay, they go back to Amalek. Okay, and that land gonna be cleansed just for the rightful owners to inhabit that land. Okay, which happen to be once again us, the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. Okay, Yahweh Shai gonna cleanse the land of Israel. Okay, just for it to be inhabited again, and for the kingdom or be inhabited by the righteous owners. Okay, the inheritors. Okay, and Yahweh Shai is gonna establish the kingdom there. Okay, because the promise was given unto who? The Israelites. Okay, and the promised land is the land of Israel. Okay, but America never gonna be inhabited. Okay, once the fire and the smoke dies down. And it says, "And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in the desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places or palaces." Okay, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. Okay, going to this place of America. Okay, that's gonna be totally annihilated. Okay, let's get this. With that Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 13. And it says, "For strong is the right hand that bendeth the bow." Hey, there go the bow. Okay, and the arrows the bow representing the silos. Okay, and the arrows representing what the missiles. Okay, because you look at certain missiles. Okay, which they call ICBM. Okay, they look like arrows. Okay, matter of fact, there's a military term when an arrow is stolen or doesn't work. They call it a broken. Missiles, I say, when a missile is stolen or doesn't work or doesn't function, they call it a broken arrow. Okay, in military term. Okay, so it says, "For strong is the right hand that bendeth the bow, for his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world." Okay, so that show you right there. They ain't going into no average arrow. Okay, like ancient times. Okay, a war. Okay, now let's go into those ICBMs. Okay, which ICBMs mean intercontinental ballistic missiles, meaning they can travel from one continent to the next. Okay, that's why I say when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Okay, going to the missiles. Okay, coming from the east. Okay, like I say, primarily Russia. Okay, and those that's in alliance with them, the Lord gonna put the spirit on. Okay, at that time to shoot their missiles upon this place of America. Okay, and it says, "Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth." Okay, and so that's going into those missiles. Okay, and it says, "Like an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward." Okay, so once those missiles launch, ain't gonna be no return. Okay, "Even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again." Okay, and the Lord is bringing plagues. Okay, in the form, like I say, famine, pestilence, natural disasters as well. Okay, but one one of the plagues as well are those missiles. Okay, let me get this. That's what Zechariah. Zechariah 14 and 12. It's Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this should be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Okay, this place America. Like I said earlier, because this place America is known as our captivity. Okay, and you know the harsh enslavement that we went through. Okay, when it comes to the Edomites ruling over us. Okay, have us in subjection. Okay, and oppressing us. Okay, when it comes to Esau, Edom, and these heathens. Okay, as they are our enemies. Okay, and this should be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Okay, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Okay, so that's giving you, so Zechariah giving you the interpretation of the vision of those thermonuclear missiles, man. Okay, or he, going into symbolic. Okay, when it comes to this plague. Okay, because only nuclear missiles, okay, can cause that, man. Okay, so while these people gonna be Yahweh Shai returning, deliver the elect, okay, and the people that remaining, they're gonna see those missiles coming at the same time. Because the missiles and Yahweh Shai returning with the chariots, they're gonna be simultaneously, and they're only gonna take 1 hour, okay, for the Lord to destroy this place, man. Okay, and while people gonna be looking up, okay, that's when those missiles gonna hit ground zero. Okay, the scripture says with a gruesome of destruction. Okay, or gruesome mean a sweeping. Okay, like it's gonna become that fire, that wave of fire gonna come across and destroy everything in its path, including the people that remain. Okay, here on the earth, man. Okay, because like I say, only the elect is gonna be delivered from out of that destruction. Okay, so this right here give you the indicator, another symbolic or knowing, the interpret it. Okay, here in Zechariah 14 and 12. Okay, knowing about the thermonuclear missiles and the destruction that's going to come with it. Okay, so that's it on that. And like I said, the Lord create those missiles. Okay, let's get this. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth in the coals in the fire. And your modern day smith are these scientists that the Lord put the spirit on, these Edomite scientists, okay, to create these missiles. Okay, start with the Oppenheimer. Okay, a couple of years ago, it was a movie they called the Oppenheimer, going into the atomic bomb. Okay, and we know about the atomic bomb. Okay, when they dropped the atomic bomb. Okay, when it comes to America. Okay, what they call Fat Man and Little Boy. Okay, basically they dropped those 2 atomic bombs on the land of Japan. Okay, when it came to, or when it went, when it comes to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay, and that was the first time, a devastating destruction took place. Okay, like I say, starting with the Oppenheimers. Okay, that created the atomic bomb. Okay, but now, we're in the time of nuclear war. Okay, but the point is, Yahweh Shai put the spirit on these elites of Esau, Edom, when it comes to their scientists, when it comes to their military might, that created these missiles. Okay, when it comes to warfare, and it said, behold, I had created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Okay, for Yahweh Shai work, and had created the waster to destroy it. Okay, so that's those thermonuclear missiles, man. Okay, for the purpose of the Lord will. Let's get this. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 25. The Lord Yahweh Shai had opened his armory and had brought forth the weapons of his indignation. Okay, and that's those thermonuclear missiles. And the word indignation means righteous anger. Okay, For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, a host in the land of the Chaldeans. Earlier I said it, the modern day Chaldeans are these elites, okay, that rule over America. Okay, the America is their stronghold. Okay, so once those nuclear missiles destroy this place, okay, that's it. Okay, that's going to lead to Esau, Edom, these elites mainly. Okay, because they're going to escape the damnation of those missiles, and they're going to be in their retreats. Okay, right along with other heathen nations that's going to be reserved. Okay, just for captivity, because that's their future. They're going to captivity. And they're going to have to build our kingdom up. Okay, up under us, man. Okay, being up under us. Okay, start with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, and the nation of Israel start with the elect. Okay, for 1,000-year period. And according to Obadiah 1:18, after that 1,000-year period, okay, the only heathen nation that's going to be done away with are the biblical Edomites. Okay, all of them. Okay, because the Edomites that perish on this side and these heathens that perish on this side, they're going to have to come back in the kingdom. Okay, being the sons and daughters of the heathens that doesn't get destroyed by the way of the missiles. Like I said, that going to be reserved to go into captivity. Okay, and the 2/3 that perish or die on this side or in this lifetime, they're going to come back in the kingdom, being the sons and daughters of the elect. Okay, that's how they're going to inherit the kingdom. Okay, which all is centered around reincarnation. Okay, not, keep it like that. Okay, but the point is that the Lord created, okay, the weapons. Okay, I'll put the spirit on these heathens, in particular Esau, Edom, created these missiles for his purpose, for his work. Okay, mainly to destroy this place, America, man. Okay, so that's it on that. Let's get this. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 4. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Okay, so Isaiah, seeing this vision. Okay, he explained how the ancient way of combat or wars was fought. Okay, by when it comes to the sword back then. Okay, armory, shields. Okay, ancient ways of fighting. Okay, and it says for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Okay, going into the thermonuclear missiles. Okay, as we're approaching that time of the Third World War. Okay, that's gonna lead into Yahushai's second coming, man. So let me see. Let's see if I got any more. And like I said, because majority of our people, they don't, even though we out there on the highways and byways and we tell them what's ahead, okay, or the prophecy or the great destruction of this place, America, and we at the midst in that time, okay, but they put the day of the Lord off, man. Okay, they don't think this place, America, gonna be destroyed, man. Though it be told to them by the way of the prophets, okay, especially when it comes to the true prophets of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, but that's okay, because only the elect is gonna take heed anyway. Okay, majority of our people, they're gonna scoff, they scorn, make mockery. Okay, to come against this truth, coming against their own heritage. When the furthermore trust in this place, furthermore trusting these false gods and idols. Okay, going after the hedonistic customs. Okay, and those are the ones that the Lord gonna give over to their ruins. Okay, especially when it comes to that MOTB, those that remain at that time. Okay, like I said, because those that take that MOTB, according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, they're gonna be destroyed by the way of those missiles, man. Okay, and the chariots. Okay, going into the 2/3 of our people. Matter of fact, let me get this out and off with this, as I make mention of Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. And it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, say the Lord, okay, when it comes to this place, America, okay, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. Okay, that is the 2/3, man, of so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American descent. Okay, starting with, here in America. But the 1/3 shall be left therein, and that 1/3 represent the elect, the 144,000, and the great multitude of men, women, and children. okay, of the 1/3 as a whole, okay, of the elect to be delivered, okay. And I will bring the third part through the fire, okay. They're part of that fire, starting with Jacob's trouble, the adversity, okay, that the elect had to go through, okay, also the hopeful elect, okay. But physically, Yahweh Shah is going to return and deliver the elect once again by the way of those chariots, okay, from out of that destruction, okay, to come in the time of that destruction of those missiles being launched, okay, and destroying this place, America, okay. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name, okay, the name, okay, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, okay. And I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is my God. Okay, so Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is only going to deliver the 1/3, okay, the elect, okay, from out of that destruction, man. Okay, 2/3 of our people going to be destroyed, right along with Esau, Edom, and the rest of these heathen nations, man. Okay, and like I say, everything reincarnated, they just have to come back in the kingdom when it comes to the 2/3 of our people being the sons, daughters of the elect, okay, being born in the kingdom, and these heathens that perish on this side, they're going to come back in the kingdom being service, okay, through their bloodline, okay, that's going to be reserved for captivity, man, okay, and that's their future after the great destruction of this place, America, okay, and the salvation of Yahweh Shai, okay, delivering the elect, okay, and our kingdom, once it established, is going to be an everlasting kingdom, okay, and we're going to rule forever, okay, due to the fact we're going to be immortal, okay, because that's what the Lord come back to bring the nation of Israel, bring to the nation of Israel, righteousness, okay, and immortality, okay, and power, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the lesson here, and I'll pray that lesson will edifying to next time, Lord willing. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.